Hey everybody, welcome to part 9 of Let's Play Breath of Fire 2. When we last left off, I mentioned a bunch of backtracking that had to be done. And it's done. I love editing. Somehow we're poisoned, but we're also back in Captain. We came back to Captain to look for a carpenter to build our shaman hut. FYI, it was a little secret. He's also going to be building a town for us, but you didn't hear that from me, though you probably already. They have 3 different houses that you can pick from. The palaces to the left, the tree houses in the middle, or the regular houses on the right. I've always preferred the regular type. I like the look of it, and plus we have a common bond with this guy. This is the guy we saved him and his son. The type of house you get also determines what your main house will be. If you pick this guy, you will build a restaurant kind of thing at his place, and he can cook stuff for you. If you build the palace, I believe you get the casino kind of thing. Game of kind of like Othello. You'll get these things called tokens later. Well, they're called tolens in this game. And the treehouse is, if you build that, he'll build a bar. And with the bar, you can talk to some people, and you'll get a lot of random information that's... If you're into that kind of stuff with RPGs, it's cool. It'll tell you, like how many times you've ran for battle, how many times you died, how much money you spent. I'm not entirely sure on that. But just a lot of useless stats that, if you're into that, you can go for that. I chose the restaurant too, because you can cook a lot of cool stuff, and I'll get into this whole talk some other time. Before we leave, though, we want to make sure we stock up on a lot of antidotes for sure, and then some help if you have the money, which you probably should. I was thinking about buying some vitamins, but they're pretty expensive for what they do. They don't seem that imperative. And then I buy some smoke, just because the place we're going to next does have a lot of random encounters, so I tried to cut it down a little bit. Not that I know what's coming up or anything. I'm sure everything will be fine. I just see into the future and I know these things. There won't be a town for a while. So you want to make sure you're rested up too. Stocked up, rested up, fully equipped. We're ready to go. I'm just going to clean my inventory real quick, so I know where everything is. And finally, looks like we can come back here. We are taking the ferry. It's a whole new world, new continent. This is just a quick little show off. You can talk to the dragon statues now, and you can change your party members too, like you could with Nero. So now anytime you have a dragon statue, you can save your game, or you can change your party. I did neither, because I like who I have, and I'm not worried about saving right now. Another advertisement for these whale cakes. I've been seeing these all over the place. They better be delicious. Amazing. And now we're going through this forest. It's got the creepy music, but it's not actually a dungeon. You'd say there's no random encounters, so you're totally safe here. There are a lot of creepy kind of frogs going on. Excuse, uh-oh. I don't want any trouble. We got that sparkle. I think we can trust this guy. Still do play. So we have a French frog. Alrighty, new continent, new enemies. flies, not the most exciting. H flies. I guess horse flies? Basically the same as before, they go down in one hit pretty much. They are able to poison you like normal, and they also have the ability to curse you. So that's something new to look out for. I'll show a battle later where they actually curse one of us, or try to anyway. And here we have Stamen and Pollen. I just take down the Pollen first because they're the weaker ones, they go down easy. Pollen just has regular attack or the ability to build up like the snip heads. And then obviously the Stamen has the ability to do sweet breath. Other than that, that's about all they got. Battle just takes a little longer than it should have because everyone's falling asleep. Falling asleep doesn't do any damage to you, so in the long run it's okay. You can see that town in the middle of a lake. We can't get to it. We're landlubbers. So not a whole lot to do yet on this new continent. You can check out this little hut here. This guy is perpetually camping out. Like, for eternity he will be here. It's a free inn, basically. You'll rest up, you can save there and change your party members if you want. If you want to start leveling up other characters, you can do that. I don't worry about it here. Obviously, I'm not going to show you grinding. Right, with that, and we're just going to head straight to the tower, the witch tower, because honestly, there's not much else we can do. Here we have the stone idol. This guy's not too bad if you get lucky. Well, regularly they're not too bad. They are bad if you're unlucky. I'll say that. More often than not, they're not bad. Mainly they just have regular attacks, or they also have the ability to use fire breath, and that's what will mess you up pretty bad, especially if you're fighting two at a time. Other than that, though, they will defend, as you just saw. Usually 2 rounds to take them down, and that's it. Here we go. Witch Tower. Ambushed right off the bat. Alright, we have Monoped and Mummy. I'm guessing Magic Mummy. If you couldn't tell from the wand and the hat he has, the Mummy is a wizard. He can use magic. Monoped, nothing to worry about. He just has regular attacks, and he's also able to get slammed attacks, and they do very little damage. Even the slam attack will do like 10 damage. The trick here is you gotta keep stepping off the switch and then stepping back on right away. You kinda have to do this little gauntlet where she'll just keep testing you until she decides to open the door. I got really lucky. Well, I don't even know if it was lucky here, but I only had to do these 2 battles, and that was it. I have had it in the past where I've had to do like 5 or 6, and I kept wondering if I was doing something wrong. But as far as I could tell, nothing was different. So, you may have to do more than 2, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Nah, we're good. Oh, the oldest trick in the book. Oh man. This just got real. So yes, all these statues you'll find around here are actually people that have been cursed by her. Not the most pleasant woman. Cure-All is cure-all. It basically acts as a remedy for anything that ails you. So it'll cure poison, it'll cure curses, it'll cure zombie, I think. I'm trying to think of any other statuses there are. It'll take care of it. We are starting to ascend the tower. And you'll soon realize that this place has a lot of random battles. And there's also a lot of treasure over there. But don't worry, we'll come back for that. I promise you I won't forget. Here we have 2 ogres. These guys aren't too bad. They look pretty menacing with their axe and shield. The only thing they have going for them is the ability to counterattack and then do regular attacks. They are also able to cast Cure 1 on each other, which I did keep another fight in later on this tower that shows that they use it, but they're not really that smart with it. You'll see what I mean later on. Otherwise, you pretty much just wail away. The only one you might want to be careful with is having an auto attack with Nina. You might just want to have her defend if you don't want to use magic, but just in case you don't get counterattacked on her. A lot of random battles. I think I said that. Alrighty, there's 5 little platforms to step on. Which one is the right one? Oh, I think I know. If you ever played Mega Man X, also made by Capcom, you may notice the way that works. Kind of like Bow Spider. The little platforms will just take a turn at every opportunity you get. So every perpendicular pipe or whatever, it'll just take that path. Here's another fight with the ogres just to show them using their cure. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. They're curing the one that's already at full health. And again. It could be trouble if they were intelligent, but thankfully they're not. Again, cold seems to be the spell of choice for these enemies. And don't do what I'm doing right now. This is actually leading to a dead end. I'm sorry for wasting your time here. You'll see soon enough. Oh, here's another battle with the horseflies. Just to show what the curse looks like. Though thankfully they used it on Cat, and Cat is equipped with that charm, so she can't be cursed. So, we get a free turn. Nothing here but this guy, and, yeah. Again, I'm sorry for wasting your time. Just want to heal up a little bit, make sure we're okay. And use a smoke, and try to cut down on random battles. Didn't seem to work too well. Poisoned again. Yeah, the enemies in here are not too tough, but there's a whole lot of them, so they will wear you down a little by little. And here we have a whole bunch of switches. Gonna heal up again. I think I used another smoke here. Oh, so you'll see that all the switches open one gate and close another. And if you're like me, you probably want the treasures that are behind the bars. Well, they're pretty easy to do. First, just step. Oh, they tricked me. Yeah, some of them will deceive you. Usually the most obvious choice is the wrong choice as far as what will open a gate and what won't. So we got the silk gloves there. May remember seeing that for sale at that Manilo shop a long time ago at the Coliseum. So that gives you an idea of how cool the stuff he's selling was. And here you have no choice but to step on these, though you can avoid that one in the middle. And that's actually the trick to get these two treasure chests, is, yeah, just walk right along the wall. And I kept this fight in too, just to finally show off that they can cast spells. And throughout this whole tower, every time I ran into them, all they would do is regular attacks, which did nothing. Now you can see that they're a little more serious. Let's go ahead and auto finish it off. Cat can usually take care of them in about half the time. She'll kill them in one hit. Other times they'll have like 2 hit points left, so it's kind of frustrating, but either way it'll go down in a turn. And we'll just pretend that never happened. Wizard ring and a wise robe. Being a witch's tower, it makes sense that there's a whole lot of magic equipment here. Nina will be getting pretty much all this stuff. The only thing she didn't get was that silk glove. The wise robe is good. I didn't equip the wizard ring because I thought it was something... I thought it was an item you could use in battle, and that's something I'll explain later when I find one that actually works that way. I'll just cut it short and say I was wrong. So now I equipped it with her. Ooh, and that woman down in the corner looks like a shaman. Don't worry, we'll come back for her. I'm trying to do this in the path of least resistance, I guess. Alrighty, I think this is our last enemy of the tower. Senates? I'm not sure where they're going. These guys are kind of tough. They have the egg beater ability, as you can see, and they have pretty good defense too. Magic is okay against them, it's not really that great. So pretty much no matter what your approach is, you're still going to be here for quite a while. These guys can take a couple rounds to finish off. Try Nina's new spell here. Sonic Boom! That's a spell that saved your life as a kid. Already getting back on the platform. You may notice that little gap in the wall on the right side. Don't go to it. Trust me, I will explain that at the end of this video. So now we got the wise ball and the wise hoop. And the wise ball is basically a wisdom fruit times 5. It'll give 100 AP back. So a lot more than we need right now. I'd try to save those. But we will give Nina the wise hoop. It gives you 10 wisdom, and that's her specialty. Alrighty, and then after that random battle... Oh, not that one. After this random battle, I fought 2 more of those Senate things, and they actually dropped a luck candy, which I thought was pretty lucky. See what I did there? I thought it was interesting though, because I believe that's a permanent stat boosting item, so it's kind of cool that you can get more if you're patient enough to fight them over and over and over. You could have infinite luck. Alrighty, open the final gate, and we are ready to challenge this witch. Yeah. Alrighty, well, diplomacy did not go well. Go ahead and... I'm actually going to use a stat lowering spell. I usually don't mess with these too much, but agility down can be useful for boss fights. If the boss is getting attacks before all of your team gets in, you can try agility down. If it works, for the most part, it should ensure that your party is getting the first attack for the rest of the battle, so it is pretty helpful if you can get it off at the beginning. And after that, we're pretty much free to wail on her all we want. It's 4 against 1, and she doesn't really have any big tricks. She's able to cast a lot of spells, as you would guess. The one to look out for the most would be Thunder, just because it attacks the whole party. Other than that, she also has Spark. I believe she has Vacuum. Maybe even Cold. She usually doesn't use it. She's also able to use Sweet Breath, which puts you to sleep. Nothing to worry about. And Cat learned Bolt X. Good to go. Aww. Oh. Oh, well, she seems fine. You feel kind of sorry for her. She lives alone in this tower. That's why she wants all these people. She doesn't want them to ever leave. Maybe she's just lonely, like the guy says. Well, we'll be seeing you. Now, if you're like me, and you find yourself in this situation where you've used up all the AP so you can't use exit to get out of here, don't worry about using any kind of wisdom fruit or anything. You could, but the way out is a lot shorter than the way in. There's a couple more random battles, and we'll take this platform back to the right, and that wall on the right that I told you not to mess with, we're going to mess with it now. Eventually, we're going to mess with it, I promise. That's right, you drop it out of the tower, and you gotta start all over. So if you did it on the way up the first time, you were one room away from the boss fight, and you accidentally left. And that's very frustrating, especially when you're a little kid and that happens. Not that it's ever happened to me, but that's what happened to me. Alrighty, now we're headed back into the tower to collect everything we skipped, which is only a few things. Basically, this whole place is the same until you get to... or the path we're taking is going to be the same until you get back here to the 5 platforms. 3 of them will take you somewhere, 2 of them will take you to dead ends where you just have to drop off to a lower level and reclimb the tower. So now this time we're going to the left. A lot of random battles. I think I've said that a lot, but I just want to reiterate. Alrighty, and now we find, let me cheat for a second. I think Sesso? Yeah, Sesso, the water shaman. So if you don't do anything else in this tower, make sure you come back for her, though. Shamans are awesome, and you want to get them all. She'll be here at any time, so if you forget to get her here, you can come back later in the game, and she'll still be there waiting. For the next part, we're going to that big old treasure room we saw before. For that one, yeah, you just gotta study the pipes and kind of draw it out in your mind of where it'll go, and there you go. Treasure everywhere. That unfortunately. The more you open, the more of these little trap pits will start opening up. And so what you want to make sure you do is before you open too many of them and too many pits open up, try to get all the treasures that are stuck in corners and such, that there's only one way to get to it, because I can guarantee you that later on a pit will open up to block your way back there. And if you do something wrong and you don't get all the treasures, you can just leave the tower and come back to get the ones you missed. Really, it's not worth it. There's a lot of random battles here, and it's usually a waste of time. But alrighty, and that is it. And we are done with the side quest, and we will go back to that frog, and we will talk to him and tell him everything's okay. But that'll be for part 10. So thank you so much for watching part 9. I'll see you in a couple days. Have a good one.